Peters is going to join us in just a second. Like I said, she's a Sam Villa ArTeam member. She has been in the industry for close to 2 decades, and 11 of those years she spent as a Redken educator, and is now a proud member of the Sam Villa ArTeam. She specializes in color, bridal styling, finishing, and editorial. Anna is passionate about teaching relatable hair solutions that can immediately grow stylists behind the chair. She owns Retreat Salon in California and has been nominated the best salon in Central Valley for 4 years in a row. That's huge. Let's welcome Anna Peters.
Hi, hello, good morning.
Good morning, Anna. I am so excited to learn from you. So
Thank you.
let's have you take it away, girl.
Awesome. So I've already started taking down this set just to save time today. I'm going to be sharing 3 looks that you can achieve. I'm going to be showing these most requested looks by brides today. And I'm going to be sharing a really clear roadmap on how to get here. So what's important when we're styling hair, and I'm sure all of you are getting all the requests right now for these bridal parties, and time is of the essence, right? When we're styling these parties, we're on a time crunch, and sometimes we're doing, maybe just the bride, but maybe we're doing her bridal party, 4 to 5, 10 clients that we're going to be taking care of for that party. So we need to have a bunch of looks in our back pocket that are going to allow us to quickly be able to whip those out and successfully and confidently have a clear roadmap on how to get there. So knowledge builds confidence, and if you have these looks in your back pocket, it's going to be so much easier for you to execute those quickly. So practice, practice, practice. I love how we have this amazing opportunity to teach virtually nowadays, and there's so many wonderful classes out there that you can take, but you need to practice. Just watching the video is not going to allow you to really gain the skills and the speed that you need to execute. So I'm doing a glam wave right now on her hair, and to save time, I already went through and started taking those out to brush them out. But this is just using our Marcel iron, and then we're going to close that and seal in those ends. So how many times you guys are wrapping through and you get to those little ends and you're trying to hold on, your nails are melting, your fingers are burning. So by using the spoon on our iron, we're now able to really seal those ends in and compress the section, creating even stronger creases, crescents in the waves. So really beautiful. And I'm just going to compress with my hand that wave, and then we're going to clip to let it cool. And this is really important for those bonds to set in the hair before we start brushing them out. I guarantee if you let your curls cool in their shape, they will last all day. I'm also using Redken's Iron Shape to protect the hair from the heat so that we get a really nice polished finish. And I'm taking this section of hair and I'm wrapping up. So we're going to create less volume through the crown and these big glamorous waves through the ends. Now this is on a client who has a medium to long length. It's not super long, but long enough to where these waves can really set in and relax and look beautiful. So I'm using our Sam Villa Marcel 2-in-1 iron, and it's in the 1 inch. I'm grabbing my section of hair. Let me scoot a little closer for you. And I'm twisting down and wrapping up. My spoon is open, and then I look at my wrist. I twist down and wrap up, looking at my wrist, twist down and wrap up. Now look at, here's these ends that I was talking about, and if we can use our Marcel, how it's meant to be used, we can really start to wrap those ends in while still having that nice wrapped curl around there. So we're getting the same effect, but we're actually heating it up even more. through the outside and the inside this way. And so that's going to allow for a stronger heat distribution. Hi everyone, I have my comments on. Good morning, good morning. Thank you so much for joining. Just compressing that curl with my hand. And then I'm going to clip and let that cool. So this look is great for anyone wanting to get that really beautiful glam wave. And you can see this starting to take action. When you set your curls, you're able to really brush through them and start to manipulate them without losing the structure of them. So from here, I can start playing and laying those where I would like them to be. Taking one curl on the top here, brushing through. I'm using the Sam Villa Artist Series paddle brush, which is absolutely fantastic for giving a really nice polish and getting through that hair. So this back section was all done in a brick lane pattern. I used the 1.5 inch on the nape underneath curls. You can see down through here, just to have looser ends and a longer texture. And then we moved up to the 1 inch. So we're gonna just let these kind of hang out here. I'm gonna take down the other two. They've probably cooled off by now, almost, but for time's sake, we'll do that. All right, I'm gonna take those down, brush through. And you don't just brush and let it like fly around. We're gonna brush and we're gonna hold that curl down with our hand and place it where we want it to be. Now I'm gonna spray a little bit of a working hairspray through here. And just using your hand and your fingers, just really placing that. If you need to clip while you work on the other curls, a great tool is our Sam Villa dry texture clips or dry sectioning clips, because they don't leave a crease in the hair. So I can clip that crescent right there and start to shape that hair around it. And I know that I'm confident I'm not gonna get any hard lines in those curls. Coming through, little working hairspray. And brushing through, and then starting to just kind of spread that out with your hand and shape those curls where you want them to lay. So this is one look we could create and just leave those curls down. And I love that she has a fringe, because a lot of people are wearing fringes right now. So it's important we know and learn how to style with a fringe, right? So I'm going to take my sleeker and I'm just going to bevel out those ends a little bit, just to kind of blend them into the side, give it a little bit of a modern look. So I'm not starting at the root. I've let this dry naturally, and I'm just taking these ends and just peeking open her eyes. She's got a really great textured fringe here. And we're just going to polish that up. So really important to keep our looks looking professional and beautiful is to polish the ends. Nothing worse than some frizzled ends on your wedding day. So we're going to do that. Now I'm looking in the mirror, I'm looking in the camera, and I'm seeing my silhouette. So important for us to look up. So often we're just focused on our client and the section of hair that we're working on. And then by the end, we're all done. We look up and we're like, oh, it's all off center, or this silhouette is not working for me. So really important to stop and step away every now and then so you could see how it's looking. What do you guys think from that profile so far? Glam, right? I'm loving these beautiful polished waves that we're seeing now. We've had so many years of beach waves that it's really nice to freshen things up with a really polished, beautiful glam wave. So you can brush through this over and over and really start to polish it and shape it however you want. But I'm going to take this now a little step further, and we're going to go into a down style where we're going to clip up a little bit of this. So we want it to look really organic and polished, but we want to have some movement happening here. So I'm going to just really use my hands and start to play with the hair. And I'm going to create a movement that's really soft across the back. But we need anchors. So the most important thing is to create strength in our look so that these looks last her all day long. So I'm going to pin out. If you want to pull up that first slide for me. Perfect. Thank you. So where the X's are where our anchors are. And today we're just using regular bobby pins as our anchor. And we're going to create an X where those X's are on the head shape. And that's going to be our point of direction. So that's where the hair is moving. So you can see the red arrows are moving the hair to that X. Then they're moving down to the next X and then across to the third X at the bottom. All right, thank you so much. So what we're going to do, once we get our hair laying nice, we got our waves brushed out, I'm going to find that spot on the head, looking at my model, looking at her profile, and we're going to go in. I'm going to place 2 fingers here, holding that hair down, and I'm placing this X directly on the top of that hair. And then I'm going to hold that down, and I'm going to do the same thing, going across. Get in there. And we'll create this X. I'm sure many of you have seen that over the years where you cross your pins, right? So there's one, looking at where her face is. I'm going to turn her so I can get to the other side. And my other one's going to go right here. So opening up that pin, sliding that in. So it's important that this hair is still laying in its natural fall. So it doesn't look like it's been manipulated, that it's just laying softly across the back. And we're going to slide this one down just a little bit. We want it a little bit below this side. And then we're going to do 2 more, one at the bottom. And we're going to open this hair up, and we're going to grab this hair right here. So let me clip this out of your way so you could see. So I'm getting down to the hair that sits at the nape down here. And creating that X. Moving across. So this is now our anchors that we're going to pin into. So gathering hair loosely with my hand, I'm going to start to sweep this across. And really important to just have soft hands when you're working. I'm going to start moving this across over to my first X. And I want this to look really nice and organic. So I'm just going to pin this right into that X. Using a hairpin, just sliding that down. And you could feel that strength happening. That one's a little large. When you slide that pin into that X, you could feel that hair really holding. Once we're done, we're going to blouse this out. Now I'm going to gather hair from this side. and determining how much you want to leave out in the front. So the thing is, everyone's hair, everyone's look is different and density. So it's hard to say exactly what you're going to do every time. You're going to have to read your client's hair, and you're going to have to determine how much to take out and how much to leave. So I'm providing the roadmap. Where's our X? Right there. That's where we're going to go right into and pin. It's up to you to read the roadmap, determine what's going to be best for each client. And I'm just using hairpins, but because we have that strength from that anchor, it's going to really work out well. And then we're going to just bring these ends right over to here and pin right into that nape. So just something polished and finished, but if she wants a really relaxed look, I think this is such a beautiful option. A little bit different than our typical half up, half downs, but something that is just sweeping across that back. What do you guys think? Can I curl? Can the curl I use help? Let's see. Can the curl I use help with the appearance of volume density on thinner hair? Absolutely. And the other thing that can really help is the texture iron. I'm going to show you how to use that in just a minute. So after we do this look, you're going to really just go through and pinch and pull and create that volume where you want to see it. So that's our first look, our first down look. Of course, you could bring this up into a side style or a low bun, either one. But for a just really romantic, soft, elegant, polished down style, I love this option. All right, so I'm going to set her over here, and we're going to move on to look number 2. Any questions before I do that on look number 1? All right, so where's she at? I got 3 ladies in here with me today. It is a party, and we are having fun. So our second look is going to be yes, I love my texture iron too. I see that. So great. You guys are so wonderful. Okay, so our second look is going to be a braided up style. How many get requests for that? And there's so many beautiful braids out there. And I really love just working with this classic French twist across the crown and really creating a lot of volume. So she's already got some texture in her hair. One of the biggest time saving tricks is to not have to curl the whole head. So if they're going to be wearing their hair down, obviously we need to curl every section. If they're not, then we can really go through and only curl what we need to. So in this case, all this hair is going to be coming back. So I'm going to create that roadmap already. If you want to pull up the second slide with the 2 looks on it. Perfect. So this is the top section on the right. You're going to see it's a really like organic zigzag section across going off of a side part. Then we have down the back, that zigzag section follows down. And we have a ponytail / bun in the back nape area, a little off center. So off to the left, the braid's going down towards the right. The ponytail's a little off center towards the left, but not too far unless you want a side look. Okay, great. Thank you so much for that. All right, so here we are. She's got some texture already in her hair, maybe like day 2 hair, and I'm just going to rake through here. I'm going to leave out a few pieces in the front. And create a low bun down here. All right, so we're going to start it off with a ponytail, a clear elastic. And I'm going to be looking in my mirror, so looking at you guys, and I'm reading, is this the right height for her bun? Do we want it lower? So really stepping away, looking at your work is so crucial. And another thing is making sure that all the hair is brushed through using a paddle brush or your fingers, making sure that you get all that hair detangled is going to make your looks so much more professional. All right, guys, so here we go, brushing through those tangles. Now we're going to take out, do you see this little zigzag that was on your roadmap? I want you to take that section out and get it out of your way. So now your section can look like this. This is going to be used separately, so I want you to just clip that out of your way. Go in with your ponytail. And now this is where we're going to curl. I'm not curling all the hair. I'm just going to take large sections here. And we're going to just wrap that hair around. Hold on, let me take off my spoon. Love it! So amazing. I have one tool in my pocket that I can use so many different ways from Sam Villa. The 2-in-1 Marcel Iron and Wand turns from a Marcel into a wand so easily. It's such a lifesaver because look how fast I could just get some really quick texture in here. I don't need to mess around with grabbing another tool, plugging that one in, waiting for it to heat up. Where am I going to set it? So absolutely love this feature. It's my favorite iron in the world. And this is in the 1 inch. So I'm just going through and quickly just creating some movement. So these are not our beautiful glam waves. These are just movement and texture that we're creating in the hair. So you don't have to be so perfect about it. Just get some bend in there. And now I'm going to take that last loop I did on my ponytail, and I'm going to just pull that through. I'm going to leave these ends out. So it's really important that those were polished because they're going to be left out. All right, so we're going to drop this top section now. This little guy right here, that's going to get taken care of. Let me put that texture in there really quick. And we'll set that one aside. All right. Okay, so dropping the top now. This is where our French braid is going to happen. How's it going so far? You guys with me? I feel like mirrors for travel are lacking. Yes, it's hard, right? To see if you're in a space where the bridal party is getting ready and you don't have a mirror. But here's what I discovered. Although it might be hard to step away and look at your work, I found that it was so helpful in gaining content for my social. So from now on, I don't travel with a mirror. I just use my phone to snap a pic of the back and the side to show them what it looks like. So here we are. We're going to do a French twist through the crown. So that happened by fault, right? I was like, didn't have a mirror. The place I was at didn't have a mirror to show the back. And so I just was like, oh, let me grab my phone. And I started thinking, I'm just not going to ever bring mirrors with me anywhere. In the salon, no mirror to look at the back, where everyone just use your phone and then you have so much content in there. So this hair has been texturized, okay? And with the texture iron, I'm going to show you how you can use this. This is a lifesaver. Where am I? There we are. So this tool right here is something you could use to quickly add a volume and texture to any hair type. So just taking this section and just using that texture iron through that crown, you could see already that texture, right? Now, the more we brush, the softer that texture is going to get, but the grip and the volume are still going to be there. You just won't have this visual crimping that you see here. It'll really diminish, but you'll still get all of that volume. So this is my secret weapon. And you notice I'm not going through and using this all over the head. That's going to take too much time. We're only going to use it where we need to see the volume, where we need to have the grip. So I'm just going down my braid here, my braided section that we're going to braid, and creating that volume. All right, so save time, map out your looks. Watch this video over and over and practice. Get this look down, get your sectioning down and your speed, and you're gonna be so amazed at how many ways you could tweak these looks and use them on different hair types and in different ways. So I really encourage you guys so much. It's so easy nowadays with video to be like, oh yeah, I got that education in my back pocket. But practice is the key to actually being able to execute that. I'm going to brush through now with the Artist Series paddle brush, making sure to just affect the braided section. And we're going to do a really loose French twist. All right, and I'm going to speed up because I said we're going to do 3 looks, so I really want to keep my word on that. Keeping my word is very important. So 3 sections through this. We're going kind of towards the point of this braid is going towards the point of her hairline here. And so a French braid goes over, right? So we're going to determine which section we want to be sitting on top. There we go, right there. And I want you to keep this really loose. And we're going to be grabbing large sections. And I'm doing this overhand because I am on top of her head trying to make sure you guys can see. So if you don't know how to do a French braid, another great thing to practice, just a 3-strand braid. Get that down and then just start adding hair to each section that's on the outside, wrapping that in towards the center. So not only are these looks great for brides and their bridal party, but also for, let me try to get this back here. Okay, here we go. Moving down our section. I'm going to put her head up. There we go. Everyone can see? All right. Hello. Hi, Carolee. All right, so our 3 sections, I'm just gathering hair to the outside section and folding that over. Let me switch my hand position now that I'm not on top. And now it's in my palms, okay? Really important here, guys, that we keep our sections clean and tangle free. I'm going to pinch right there at the X, gather hair into that outside section, and gently cross it over. Sometimes we want a messy look, but it still needs to be executed properly to where it doesn't look like a 3-year-old made the messy look. My girls like to style hair too, so I've seen lots of 3-year-old upstyles and they're beautiful, but not for the bride, right? Okay, I'm gonna move my body now to the side where I want the hair to move. So do you notice I was over here? I need to be coming this way because I'm gonna have my braid moving down the back. So it's really important, ooh, that's close to me, that we move our body to the direction we want the hair to move. I'm gonna speed up here, finish that braid off. I'm gonna use a little texture through here for even more grip. And now we're going to start to blouse this braid a lot. I want it big, big, big. And you're going to be paying attention to what is happening from the front view as well. So I'm going to tie this off so I can move out of the way and get a better view. How's it going, everyone? So the 3 looks I'm sharing today are a down style with glam waves and a really beautiful, just glossy, swept across the back look. Blousing this French braid out. A braided up style and a bridal bun. All right. So here you could see how nice and big this French braid is getting. And that's going to be sitting right on top of our little bun here. So I'm going to clip this out of my way. Where's my clip? All right, clipping that out of my way. I'm going to secure this bun down with some big grips. Just sliding that into our ponytail anchor here. Getting that bun laying down. And look how nice those ends are that are just hanging loosely. This is going to be a more relaxed kind of boho. Could be super chic too, but a little bit more of a boho braided up style. So using my hand here, I'm going to pin. I'm using these black pins so you guys could see. I'm going to spread these out, really pull, and then pin that in to where I want. Closing off that side there. Letting that braid really fatten out and lay across that nape. Now here's my ends. I'm going to tuck these under and pin that up into that anchor. All right, one more pin. If you have ends that you don't want to see, just open up your grip, grab those ends, and I want you to just twist, and almost like a pin curl, just kind of twist that up into that anchor and pin, sliding that right into there. Now you don't have to worry about those ends. These we want to hang out. And from here, we can really start to blouse and play with this French twist. Now we're going to use our cell iron, taking off the spoon, and we're going to dress up the front. So what do you guys think so far about the back? Isn't that beautiful? Now look, we're going to look from the front, okay? Do we like what we see? Or I would feel she needs some more volume over here. So using your mirror, making sure that you have a front view, a side view, because she's going to be taking pictures. We want to make sure that everything looks good from every angle. Over here, this one's a little floppy. So look, what we're going to do with a really fine hairpin. Let me find one. This little guy right here. Let me get it on there. There we go. We're going to flip up one end, a little kickstand right there. You can see that. And we're going to just slide that down, wiggle it back and forth, slide that down, and that's going to hold that, but it's going to be invisible too. All right. And now we're going to take our iron with the spoon off, the 2-in-1 Marcel iron. Love this. This is my tool to have on hand. And we're just going to wrap away from the face. Pulling those hairs down for a really relaxed look. This is your boho braided request from a bride look. Easily you can execute this here. How many of you are ambidextrous? Super helpful being a stylist. If you can work with both hands. I highly encourage all my assistants to become ambidextrous. All right. Okay, so just letting that hang loose. And taking a peek over here. Wonderful. I'm going to pin this down just a little bit. So I'm going to weave that bobby pin up into that anchor. All right. Loving it, guys. What do you think? So far, we have a down style, a braided up style, and you have those clear roadmaps. So at the end, we'll put those up again, and I'll also share this on my Instagram page so that you guys can recreate this. Now, these you might want to tuck to the side, no problem. Just grabbing a hairpin and just weaving that up into there. You could still have some loosely hanging out, but this is a great way. Awesome, love it. So glad you guys are liking that. Okay, I'm gonna set her aside. Next to the party is our long blonde bride wanting to have a beautiful bridal bun. So what are we going to do? We're gonna road map this out, right? We're gonna save time. We're not gonna curl the whole head. We just did 2 large sections through the back here and through this crown. Now this is my sectioning. If you wanna pull up that, great, there it is. So our U shape down the back, split down the middle at the nape. Those 2 sections are clipped together right now. Our top crown area is coming down to a ponytail at the base of that U. And all the hair is moving towards that ponytail. All right, thank you for that. Okay, let's section this out. Drop that. Okay. All righty, so let's get her started. Okay, so first thing is we have our sectioning, right? We're going to now create a ponytail through that back. All right, guys, I got 15 minutes to show you one more look. What do you think? Can we do it? So far, we're doing great. So 3 looks in 45 minutes, or 2 looks in 45 minutes so far. So I think we're on the right track. So through this top here, really, really important because we're going to pinch and pull this hair. So it's super important that we have the texture in there and that all of the hair is moving in the same direction, that there are no knots, tangles, anything like that, because that's going to disrupt you from pinching and pulling and getting those really clean, beautiful textured ridges that we're seeing all over the place right now. I absolutely love them, and I'm going to share with you how to make those stand out even more. So right here, we're going to place a ponytail here at the nape. We're going to pinch and pull, create that volume in there. Get a little bit going right now. We always can add more. Okay, and then we're going to go on top. And we're going to wrap around 3 times. Another way you can do this is with a bungee. For time's sake, I'm just using a regular elastic and a ponytail. Okay. All right, so here we go. We're going to drop out this bottom now. We're going to split it down the middle. And these 2 are going to come on top. So lift those up with your fingers. And this is going to give us a really, really beautiful draping through that bottom too. So giving that really soft, elegant look. We're going to elevate this ponytail now. It would be tragic if they snap the hair ties. Yes, definitely. So on a real bride, I would double up, or I would be using it as a bungee, okay? And I can show that if we have time at the end, but I'm just using these clear hair ties. And obviously read the hair too. If they have massive amounts of hair, you are not going to want to trust in one elastic. You're gonna want to double up on that or use something a little bit stronger. Okay, so we have one ponytail here and one above that. This one that's sitting above is we're gonna slide 2 fingers through that opening, and we're going to grab that hair from underneath and we're going to pull that up. Grab your ponytail so you don't pull all that hair that's on the bottom and pull those ends up. So it should look like this. All right, now you can cinch that down. Look what just happened. Look at the volume that we just got from doing that. So you guys do see the loop-de-loo a lot, and that's going down. So depending on what type of direction you want, we want the hair moving up. That's the way you're going to pull the hair. So this already is looking like just a beautiful ponytail, right? But we're going to move this into a bun. So we're going to now take some foam padding here, some netting, and we're gonna just pin this right in that center there. Going in with my grips and just pinning that into those 2 anchors, those 2 ponytails that we have. Now this girl's got a lot of hair, so it's very important that we use anchors that are going to support this look. If I just try to pin a typical bun in, I would bet money that it would be falling out by the end of the night because her hair is so heavy. So now that we have this anchor in there, this is what we're going to be pinning into. So I'm going, sorry guys, it looks like the gardener is coming by. Of course, when I'm just trying to wrap this up. All right, we're gonna take this hair that's on top here. We are going to just gently twist and really start to use our fingers, combing through, twisting and pulling this hair. Then we're going to use hairpins and just clip right into there. Can everyone hear me? All right, what look are we working on right now? Let me see it. Type it in the chat box. We are creating what look right now? Draping this hair across that form, back up into that crown. Fun, yes, Stephanie, thank you so much. Using our fingers. Okay, and then we're going to leave this. We're going to take the hair that is on the sides and we're going to start to twist this back as well. So we're going to drape this hair, depending on how we want to see it, move across that. You're going to start to just twist, getting that texture in there with our tools, letting them do the work so we don't have to do all of it. Twist and place that hair across that back. Seeing our looks have a lot of volume and a lot of texture and soft movement. So I love that we're getting a more polished look now with our brides. But they still are not too structured, not too stiff. They still have a really soft feel about them. So just moving that hair across and working your side to side. So you never want to just do one side and then not look at the other side. So it's really important that we find balance, that we're getting the same level of thickness and fullness on the sides here as we move across. So just draping that using your mirrors. And we're just pinning down into those anchors. think he's done. Right. Okay, so this is how it's looking through the back here, and you can start to see that volume. Go ahead and pinch and pull if you want to see more. I like to double check that before I finish everything up. Okay, now we're going to take these ends, and we're just going to wrap those around the bottom. So now I know that all my sides of this anchor are covered. So just wrapping and pinning this in. And that sponge, that form, is really going to help create that volume so that we don't have to use the hair as the volume. We have that to dress it. This is a great option for somebody who has very fine, thin hair that you're wanting to create a really full bun on. And now we're going to take our ends and we're going to just go through, and you're going to just use your eyes and really just kind of determine what needs to go where. So I like that. So when we have what we want, we're going to pin right into where our fingers are holding. So I'm going to go right in here. And I'm going to go right in here. Let go, reach your bend. Using the ends of that pin. And then we'll pull this down too. So you can see how much I'm using my mirror here to really check my silhouette.
Awesome. Anna, we had a question about the donut. Was it like cut in half? Was it a bumper?
Yes, great question. Yeah, so the donut is just one like this, and you can get these very cheaply at like Sally's or anywhere like that. Don't use your really expensive nice ones. And then you're just gonna cut it in half. So you get these little kind of squares, and you can even unravel them and reshape them however you want. So this is what I used right there at that base. Great question. What other questions do we have right now that I can help you with as I just finish up this bun?
There were a lot of product questions, and if you have the brand of the clear elastics you were using.
Oh, you know, I don't have that. It was a very large container of elastics. I really got them off Amazon. Yeah. When I was needing like a ton of them last minute. So they've held up very well. Read your reviews. But yeah, this is the bridal bun we're seeing here in the back. Cool. So nice and full. And if you wanted to drop anything out, you could. But just something that's like elegant and has all the soft texture that we're seeing.
Beautiful.
And then if you want to really increase and define that texture even more, you could go through with the Sam Villa Sleeker. And I love this color right now, the ruby red. It's perfect time for Valentine's Day. I'm excited to share this with our clients and hopefully send them home with some husbands home with some for their wives for Valentine's Day. Girlfriends, wives. Okay. And then we're going to just go through here, and I'm going to just use the Sleeker because it has these really soft polished edges. I won't get any hard lines. So I'm just going to go through and I'm going to define those ridges, and it's going to give it more polish and more definition for the pictures. So just really love this technique and this look that we're seeing all over the internet with these beautiful polished looks. There's still texture, they're still modern, but they have these really strong ripples going through them. And some people just create such beautiful styles on there that I absolutely love trying to recreate, and using this iron really helps with that. So I've been having a lot of fun with it. So these tools are great too, you guys, because they have a automatic shut off. So they will shut off after 60 minutes. And that has really been a lifesaver over the years when you're like, oh my gosh, in the salon, at home after you've left the salon, do I turn off the iron, or at home? And so it just really helps for making sure that you don't burn the place down and you don't waste time going back. Another great feature is that they have different heat settings. So there's the color treated, which is so fantastic to share with your clients, because I guarantee that they are all at like 450 degrees at home and wondering why their color is fading. So our color treated setting is at 392 degrees. Anything higher than that temperature can dissipate the color molecules in the hair. So our clients are coming back with fried or faded color and wondering like what it is, why it's happening, and we're racking our brains. The first question I ask now is, what temperature is your iron set at? And they're like, I don't know, it's at 10, or it just has like an on-off switch. And then I have a mini heart attack and tell them and sell them the Sam Villa texture iron, because, or sleeker, any of the hot tools, because they have this heat setting that I know in my heart they are safe and taken care of. So, all right, I think we are done with that bridal bun. What do you guys think?
Beautiful.
And then here's our other two looks.
Oh my goodness.
The braided upstyle. And let me see if I could do this. There we go. And then just that really like beautiful glammed out down style. And so the next part would be accessorizing these, which is so fun. And I'll be sharing the accessorized looks on my Instagram. And hope you guys can all find the finished products there. So yeah, what do you think, Katie?
I'm loving it. And I feel like these all got increasingly more difficult. So that was really cool to watch.
Good. Yeah.
So, yeah, if you guys missed any portion of this live, come back to our Facebook and YouTube and rewatch it, because it was so cool to see the anchoring tips with just the bobby pins and then braids and then a donut. So I learned a lot.
Awesome. I'm so glad.
Yes.
Yeah. And just, I can't encourage you enough to definitely go back and watch it and take notes, and then practice, 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 practice. And you'll build your speed. And with that, you'll build confidence. You'll be able to execute this in no time.
Absolutely. I also love the ridges technique and how you were pulling the ridges apart before you even like secured at the crown. I learned like so much from watching you and Kara Lee.
Oh, good.
Myself, I would like secure the crown with so many bobby pins that I'd be like trying to form ridges, and it just wasn't responding. So
yeah,
and techniques. There was a lot of questions about what spray did you use, Anna, before we go here.
So the working spray that I used was Redken's Fashion Work 12. And then to finish it off with a stronger hold, I would use Redken's Pure Triple Take. Triple Take. So that's really strong hold, but it's not crunchy or wet. And so I absolutely love that. And a super fine mist. And then I used Design Me, Puff Me as my texture product there. But my favorite texture is from the texture iron that we would use through the crown or wherever you're needing that volume.
Awesome.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, there was just one more question that popped in here. What's the mannequin you were using?
Okay, so these are all from Pivot Point. And this one is Diana. So she's the longest haired one. She's got the shoulders She's going to be wearing Chanel dress later for the photos. um, and then we have, this one is Maddie. And so she's got a really great amount of hair and a longer style as well. And then we have Lydia, who is by Sam Villa, designed for cutting, styling, or any color. It's just like a great all-around mannequin that has a great dimension to it and a really workable length for any upstyling or cutting. So Lydia.
Oh, love it. Love that you use different level mannequins too. So
I know.
Very cool to see. All right, you guys, make sure you follow Anna on Instagram. Her page is so aesthetically pleasing to look at.
Oh, thank you.
I love how you embellish your looks with pearls. So
yes.
Where you go to her page for accessory inspo. So
awesome. Well, thank you so much for having me, and thank you everyone for joining and for participating. And I hope to see what you're creating out there very soon.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Anna.
Bye, everyone.